Go live. Okay.
All right. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Speaker Ready Cash podcast with Ashley Kirkwood. I'm so excited because today we have with us the incomparable Jason McCoy, who is phenomenal at what he does. And I'm going to let Jason introduce himself, and then I'll tell you guys about how I met him and how we worked together. And he's incredible. So, Jason, welcome to the Speaker Ready Cash podcast.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really excited to be here. And I'm so excited to just have this time to speak about what we're going to do and about photography and the importance of it. But I am so people may consider me a photographer, but I also want to call myself a visual brand strategist because I help you come up with images to help take your brand to the next level. And there's a strategy behind it, and it's just not taking pictures. So I call myself a visual brand strategist.
Yes, and that is 100% what you do. You are so good at what you do. So, guys, I mean, we have a lot of speakers that are listening, entrepreneurs, consultants, thought leaders. And what I can tell you all is that people ask me, like, how did you get started as a influencer? How did you get your Instagram up? Good photos. Like that is how it all starts. I think photos are the foundation of how you present yourself as a professional. And it's so critically important. And you've worked with so many celebrities and thought leaders and entertainers. How would you describe the importance of a good aesthetic, of good photos for a speaker? Like, how do you describe how valuable or how invaluable that is?
Well, I think first of all, the first thing people see before they meet you, definitely if it's online, is they're going to see a photo first. So I don't care if you're dating. I don't care if you're sending in pictures for to be a speaker. I don't care if you're sending in an EPK, which is an electronic press kit. Anything, they're going to see a photo first. If you're an actor, you have to send in your headshots. Everything goes by that image first. And you know what? People say image doesn't count, but the thing is, we've all done it. We have looked at a book and say, oh, that book looks interesting. I'm going to open it up, right? So image is extremely important, right? And not just image, but you want to tell the right story with your image, right? So I shoot a variety of different clients, So, and I want to make sure, let me know if you're hearing me clearly, because I know we sometimes have an internet connection here at the studio. But if you see anything, just let me know, right? But photos and images are extremely important. I work with a variety of clients. And one of the things I always want to know is, what are you trying to say? Because you know what's part of the photo is your hair, your makeup, your clothing, your pose, the colors of the backgrounds, because they're all speaking something. We talk about body language and we talk about unspoken communication. That's unspoken communication. So your images are important, and they can make or break you. Literally, they can decide if you are the right person for my audience, or if you're not the right person for this audience. So yeah, your image speaks tons. What they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So a good picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
Yes, no, that's 100% true. And I think you were frozen for a little bit there, but I think we got most of the audio. At least I was able to hear you. So that's good. I mean, I think too, for speakers, one of the first things that your clients are going to see is your website. And I used to think that the website's foundation was, the designer. Like, they could design some stuff and do some stock photos and make it all work. But there is a huge difference between a website that has great photos and a website that doesn't. Like, you can have a very simple, basic design, but if you have powerful photos in your website, it's gonna change the game. Like, it really, really is. And I may show you guys some of his photos too on Chris's website, but it definitely changes the game. But it's really tough for people when they're just starting out to find great photographers, find great videographers to work with, find people who can help up-level their visual identity. And one thing you said is you help them find the photos, like get different images that they'll need for their brand. And I know for our photo shoot, you were like telling us how to pose, telling us what positions we should do, how we should, like, even if it feels uncomfortable, you need to look a certain way. And y'all see people with those photos, it's like looking at and you're like, man, how'd they get How'd they know to pose like that to get that photo for the flyer? Jason. Jason helped with those things. So how do you get started, and well, here's the question, because I didn't say it so much. What should we be looking for when hiring creatives to work on our brand?
So I think when we're hiring creators to work on our brand, we want to look at the experience that they have, right? And I want to know that you know how to work with the type of person I am. So if I do corporate stuff, I want to see that you shot corporate work. If I am doing any other type of sports or whatever, I just want to make sure that you have experience in my genre. So that's number one. Number two, I want to make sure that our communication styles are similar, right? That we gel, right? And sometimes the best ways to know if you gel with a creative is to go to their social media. And I encourage all creatives to really update their like social media, like their live videos, their Insta stories, so you can attract the ideal client. I teach a class called More Clients Period for photographers, and I'm telling them to really put their personality on display, right? Because we are attracted to personalities, and it lets you know, like, if I connect with you, are you a bubbly person like I am? So I attract bubbly clients. I attract corporate clients. I attract people who want to have fun, right? And if you don't put your personality out there, you may not know. So sometimes people are going to photographers or creators blindly, and when you get there, you might realize like we really don't connect. And it can be odd because you might be a lovely, like a laughy, talky person, and there's photographers who don't like to talk. They literally like to just tell you what to do, no conversation, right? And if you know the experience of a photographer, you see who they've worked with and what they've done. You know that they have the experience to pose you if you're not a great poser. They have connections to the best hairstylists, makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, and as well as what people don't think about is when you are connected to a photographer, you're almost brought into a family. So I feel like Jason McCoy photography is like almost like a family or a fraternity or a sorority, right? Because they be like, "Oh, Jason shot your photos, right?" And it's a whole little clique. And definitely, even when you work with a photographer that has experience, when they post you on their page, you get I have a lot of higher end clients. I have a lot of record executives. I have a lot of everybody that watches my page, and they go be nosy, and they may not even click the like button, but they're looking, and then they go check out and see who the person is. So there's been a lot of connections just through even my Instagram posts or just the behind the scenes posts when I post the boom at the end of photo shoots.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like it is kind of like a click. Like I remember for me when I work with so many photographers, and my photos have always been good, right? No shade, all have been good. But it is a totally different game when you start working with Jason. And as you all know, I never do, like, this is not an ad. Jason did not pay me to say these things. But it was a real difference when I went and got photos done with him. So let me tell you about the experience, okay? Because he's gonna tell y'all, you're gonna want to know. Jason is not the most affordable photographer. So if you're like budget shopping, no. But let me tell you why. So this is the experience. So I roll up. It's me, my husband, our baby, because we're all doing the photo shoot. And Jason's, I don't know if it was your intern or your someone who worked for your team came to the car. Uh-huh. And I was like, oh, is this guy with the building? Because this brother came to the car. I was like, hello, Miss Kirkwood. How can I assist? Would you like me to take your bags? Would you like me to do this? Should I get some water? And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, what is this? So he comes, gets all the bags, escorts us to the elevator, and then we get there and they're playing gospel music. Now, this is really important because for me, I may listen to a little ratchet stuff every now and then, but my general tone is like gospel music. So I liked that the environment was acceptable. It was like very appropriate. And I had my daughter with me. So then the nanny for the day, we hired someone for the day to take care of our daughter. She met us there. And we found her through Jeremy, who was the stylist on the shoot. Jeremy was there. The hairstylist was there. The makeup artist was there. It was like a production. Mm-hmm. And everyone there was connected to Jason and or Jeremy. So I really liked that whole experience. And then the actual photos themselves, we This was my first real, I would say real photo shoot after having the baby. So we really were able, Jason really did a great job of telling me like, okay, stand like this. This looks good. Don't stand like that. And so that stuff is critically important when you're thinking about it, especially if you don't do this all the time. You're like, okay, this is I'm not a model by profession, so I need some help in this area. He is the person to go to. So what would you say on a skit? Because I don't know what's normal. I can tell you I ain't never had an experience like that with a photographer. Ever. Most photographers, I get there and I got to tell them, okay, can we take a picture here? Can we please take a picture here? Can we do this? I'm going to stand like this. Does this look good? They don't even tell you looking, y'all women know. They ain't tell me to suck it in. They ain't tell me to, you know what I mean? So like, that's the normal photography experience in my experience. It's not luxury. Jason, how would you say, like, in terms of 0 being just basic and 10 being lavish, where do you fall on the scale? And like, what should we be looking for? Is that becoming more normal now? Or is it like, no, this is different. This is just how we do things?
We're definitely different, and this is definitely how we do things. However, so the photographers that I'm teaching and bringing up, a lot of them just don't know about great customer service, right? If you have never, see, Ashley, you are similar to me, as in we love nice things, we love great experiences, we love fine dining. So we know what top level experience is like. There's a lot of people that haven't experienced top level experience before, so they don't even know. So like photographers, they don't even know like to offer certain things, and I call it the law of reciprocity, when you offer a gift, right, to make someone feel comfortable. So, and and also there's a most times a return when you offer a gift. So a lot of them don't know that, and so that's why sometimes I don't say that they're. I just say that they haven't been exposed, right? So that's why when I teach classes, I teach about.
I think we lost
that. Oh, there we go. Oh, are we here? There we go.
We got
We
you.
good? Okay, good. So yeah, so for me, it's about the experience, right? I want you to come in. I want you to come into a studio that's bright. So you may not be able to tell from this video here, but if you're here in person, it's very bright in here, right? And we have the studio decorated. The studio is decorated. There's couches, all that stuff, chairs, everything. We have water. We have wine. We want to make it experience. There's a special scent that I use in my studio that I've been using for the last at least 5 to 7 years. I don't know how. This one scent that I get, and I call it my secret scent, that I have pumping through my studio. Like, we want to appeal to every single sense of the person. So from the smell to water, juice, wine, which is taste, um, to touch. So we have textures in here, and just color. We have bright, good vibes in here. So is it your average studio? Probably not. But it is an experience, and we're not just like we're not Sears, we're not Target, and we're not Uncle Bobo that got a camera. We're not that. We're totally different situation. But once you come here, I promise you're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta have this every single time. So people get spoiled. We spoil people a lot here.
Yes,
Definitely.
you definitely do spoil people, because I know we like rebooked another shoot right after the first shoot.
Yes, you
Like,
did.
we gotta do this again. So what would you say, like, how often should a professional be doing a brand photo shoot?
So I believe people should do shoots twice a year, right? So if you're very active on social media, so if you're active on social media, you're producing content, you're dropping books, flyers, all that type of stuff, you need to do twice a year. So most times you'll do like fall, winter, and then you'll do spring, summer. So you come in twice right before fall and knock out your pictures for fall and winter, and then you'll come back and probably early spring or late winter and knock out spring, summer. Because the thing is, you don't want to promote a summer thing while having a freaking coat on, jacket, or you got Christmas colors on.
Yep.
So you got to understand the seasons change, and if you're active on social media, then and you're putting out flyers and doing events and promotions, you don't want to keep using the same photo all the time because it looks like you're not progressing. I don't care how often you're selling something. If I keep seeing the same picture, I mean years, it's just like, come on now, it's time to upgrade. Definitely, be putting on events. Like you are busy. Like you put on events. You got books somewhere. You're doing special engagements and all that type of stuff. You need a lot of pictures. And for those who aspire to be in your level or to try to get to your level, they have to. You gotta pay to play, and that's making sure you have great photos because photos mean a lot. And it allows you to have different marketing things. Update your social media a lot. Update your web pages. And you need different photos for different things. Every single photo is not for every single event. I just want people to know that too. Because if you're going to
Yes.
speak to a younger crowd, you might not use the same photo if you're going to speak at a Fortune 500 company. Different photos.
Yep, 100%. And I will say, for those of you who are about to do a website, I think photos are the most important thing. Because I hired, like, we had a really simple design for Chris's website. And I'm going to show you guys. I think I have it pulled up. So it's a really simple design, but the photos really help the website look professional. And Chris is not, my husband does not, he's not really, he's getting more active in social media, but he's not like, okay, I'm about to, I'm about to be on social media all the time. That's not his thing. But this was, we used some of the photos that we took with Jason to put together his speaking website that we used for him. And all of these photos were from our photo shoot.
Yes.
And like, it's a very, very, very simple design, but the photos still allow it to look professional, clean, like easy. And it was just the photos. It looked great. It looked great. And we got the website done in like a day. So it took no time. They just used the photos, took the text. Our copywriter wrote the text, but it was ready to go. And Chris was blown away. He was like, oh my goodness, look at this. And it really does help to up level your brand. So if you're getting a new website, I highly recommend you get photos. And I think that it's a write-off. So business owners, I mean, I'm not an accountant. I'm not going to give you accounting advice. We write off visual brand identity as an expense for our business. So if you got to do 2, if you got to do 3, you're writing it off. Okay. But it really does help to have those great images. So Jason says at least 2 a year. And then when you're thinking about poses, like doing a photo in studio or doing an experiential photo outside or using props, how do you determine what shots you should get? Is that something you help clients with? And what do you recommend? Like one indoor, one outdoor, one at your house? How do we show people our day-to-day lives through photography?
Okay, so one of my first questions I'm going to ask are you using these photos for marketing material like websites, printed material, billboards? If you're doing a lot of billboards, marketing, as in like flyers and a lot of social media stuff, as in like you're going to cut the image out, or you're working with a graphic designer and they're going to cut it out and put words and stuff like that, it's better to do a studio shoot because it makes it easy for you to cut out. Like, have you ever seen those photos where the hair barely look like it's cut out? It's all weird and you got the skin look all choppy. It's because sometimes they try to take a lifestyle photo and try to cut it out. And it's so hard for a graphic designer. Believe me, I used to be a graphic designer, so I know the importance of having a good, clean photo that I can easily cut out. And just like, for example, this website that you guys just showed, having those easy, clean photos that are high resolution makes it so easy for a graphic designer, a website designer to really make the page pop. So it's important to know where are you going in for photos. Now, lifestyle photos, which are outdoor photos, those are good definitely for social media, and you can use a lot of those on websites. But when it comes to flyers, billboards, you want something that's easy and clean to cut out. So that's studio. When you want something for social media, like talking about day in a life, you want to write a story behind a photo. A lot of times that's easier to do with something that's done outside. So I think it's important to have a mixture of both, but I don't care what no one say. You got to have those studio photos because listen, I done shot with so many people I can name multiple names, and they could have they might have did a studio shoot with me, and then they might have went and did some lifestyle and other stuff like, hey, yeah, we need more lifestyle, blah blah. But it doesn't matter when that magazine come out, when that article come out, when that feature on Forbes, Black Enterprise, or whatever. Guess what? They use that studio shot. It happens every single time. Every single time because it's clean, it's crisp, and it's professional, and it's high resolution. And that's another thing. When you guys working with your photographers, you want to make sure you're getting high resolution images. And when I say high resolution, that means the DPI. So if you talk to the photographer, you can sound like you know what you're doing. So here's a tip: just say The DPI needs to be at least 300. The resolution needs to be at least 300 DPI. So that means you're going to get a high quality photo, very clean, very crisp. So you want high quality photos. So if you do any billboards, any flyers, any printouts, it's going to make sure that your photos look crisp and it's like you almost the picture looks 3D. So make sure you do that.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And I wonder, so it sounds like for billboards, marketing materials, you want to do a studio shoot, but then for your social media posts, it's good to do a lifestyle shoot.
Yep, social media, like you definitely like when you want to write a story about a photo, like you know how you do a photo while you're sitting at the desk, if it is a cup of coffee, whatever you can say anything, like because those go easier with that versus if you're doing a studio where it's just you and it may be just you can talk more directly. So there's a different attitude even in the copywriting when you're writing concerning a studio photo versus a lifestyle photo, because a lifestyle photo is not just you, but it's the elements that's in the room. Studio shots that are shot behind straight background, it's about you. It's about the person that's there. Most times, all those images will be looking away, looking at you, or laughing, looking away, but it's still focused on you. So you want to know. So studio is focused on you. Lifestyle is focused on you and the elements around you.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's really important, I think, too, when you're pitching people and you want them to look at your media kit or you want them to look at your proposal. Like we've sent out so many proposals to sponsor Speak Your Way to Cash, and they have the new photos in it. I like told all of my designers, like, use these photos from this folder. This is the new standard. So it really does help. And I can see a direct line between how excited people are to engage with our content and the photos that we post. So even though video does really well as well, like when they see the new photos, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They're willing to share it. They're like, who did that? And who did? And it's not just, it's not just the photos that made my most recent brand shoot so amazing. It was like the photos, the posing, and we did styling too. So the styling was really important because I didn't know. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like if you're anything like me, you may be like, photo shoot. I'm not a celebrity. You may even be one of those people sitting at home that like makes fun of the people who have the professional photos all the time. I know y'all out there. I ain't gonna call you out, but I know y'all out there. It is okay, y'all. Like I am a curvy girl, and us curvy girls know you make one wrong move and you look totally different. Okay, so you're gonna want someone that makes you feel beautiful, empowered, and confident. And between Jason on the photos and Jeremy on the styling, it was really an incredible duo. You all working together. I don't know if you all work together all the time. It looks like you do. But both of your services complement each other so well. And it all culminated in me feeling so comfortable, my husband feeling comfortable, our daughter feeling comfortable. It was really a great experience.
Listen, and Ashley, and I think you already alluded to this even in our earlier conversations when I said your photos already look great without any retouching almost. Like without retouching, your photos look phenomenal. And the only way to do that is to have a secure team. So I know people, sometimes, I think it's important to save up for your photo shoot, right? So just don't just like, oh, I'm gonna just do something real quick. No, save up for it so you can get a hairstylist, or you if it's a guy, go get your good haircut, right? But makeup is important. Makeup is important, guys, right? You want to make sure that someone can paint your face really beautifully, where it still looks like you, but also enhances your beauty. And then thirdly, as you mentioned, clothing. Clothing, hair, and makeup are the trinity when it comes to a photo shoot. If any one of those are off, it can throw a whole session off, right? It can really throw a shoot off. And it could either require the photographer like me. I know how to do Photoshop and everything. It requires a lot more work on my part. But if hair, makeup, and wardrobe styling is on set and it looks great, your photo is going to look good and of course if the photographer has good lighting, your photo is going to look good just when you look at the proofs. You're going to be like, oh my God, these look good. And I'm going to say like, we're not even retouched. And that's you want that. You want your photos to look so good before any retouching, before any Photoshop. And you guys, your family shoot looked great without anything done to it. You could have literally posted them almost just like that. But now let me tell you the difference between retouching and not retouching, right? Retouching for people who are, I'm a little anal. So I want everything to be perfect. I live in excellence, right? I want excellence, right? So retouching, put those little enhancements. for Ashley shoot, there really was not a lot that we had to do because hair, makeup, and wardrobe was phenomenal. But for some of you guys who you may not be able to get the best makeup artist or whatever situation it may be, retouching is going to be extremely important. If you don't have the right, I know I don't know if I'm supposed to be going into this, but if you ain't got the right undergarments, right,
Yo,
retouching is going to be
you're right.
important.
It's so critical. Like everything you just said, the right undergarments, the right hair, the right makeup, like, and I'll be honest with you guys, like what Jason said about you need to save up for your photo shoot, I did that. Because when Jason first sent me I don't know if you got the email, but Jason first sent me his prices like years ago when I was kind of just ramping up my business. And I was like, oh yeah, I can't drop this on the photo shoot yet. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take these other photos. And then I emailed him back and he told me the price again. And I was like, okay, I want the ultimate package.
Yes.
And it worked out, but I did save up for it. And then I was like, okay, but I can't spend, because here's the thing. This is how my mind works. I'm like, all right, I can't drop all this for the best photographer in Chicago. And then not have the clothes right. And then I got the clothes, and Jeremy was like, okay, but there's this hairstylist, and you need her on site, and I would recommend you get makeup on site too. And I was like, okay, well, how much is that gonna cost? So I was like, okay, but then my husband was like, well, we can't spend this on the photos, and then this on the styling, and then not have the hair and makeup on set. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna do everything, and this is gonna be our gift to ourselves. And it really was like, it was a beautiful full-blown experience. And I've never had that before, like everything. I was like feeling like a movie star. And I think you guys can go on my Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show and see the behind the scenes of the photo shoot. I'm pretty sure. Yep, it says brand shoot. And it's like one of my Instagram stories. You can click on that and see some of like the behind the scenes of that shoot if you want to get an idea. But Jason, so who's the main team? Like when people they're budgeting for this, they're like, okay, I don't know if I'll do 2 a year, but I'm gonna start with one. Who do they need on their team to get the best possible outcome for the photo shoot? What are all the players?
So you need hair, you need makeup, so you need good hair. So okay, let me start with hair real quick. A hair person that understands your hair. So you may be a natural hair person, or you like to wear wigs, or you might have to do somebody that know how to do weave and mix your hair. So you got to find the right hair person for you. So, sometimes it's not your hairstylist. Like sometimes I know people are really picky about their hair, but you might need to go and take it up a notch to the right person that helps you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say choose the right hair person for you. So it may be natural hair, wigs, or someone that specializes in that. Then makeup, you want someone that does photo shoot makeup. Photo shoot makeup, not regular, because photo shoot makeup and everyday makeup is totally different. Because when the light hits on photo shoot makeup, it's still going to conceal any type of blemishes. It's going to stay up. But for that light everyday makeup, that light goes right through that makeup, and you will see every blemish that you had, even though you felt like you did your regular makeup. So it's totally different. You want photo shoot makeup. When it comes to wardrobe styling, you want a stylist that speaks to your brand, that understands, that you can connect with. Number one, that has time for you, that is patient with you, and that's going to work with you, right? And you want someone that can style you the way you should be, not the way that they think you should be, right? And it's a mixture, right? So it's a mixture of like, you might have a goal of what you want to look like, but you need to make sure that they can interpret where you're trying to go and then create the best look for you. And that's what Jeremy did for you, right? So we're all various sizes. I think you talked about that. I'm a bigger guy. So when I choose a stylist, I choose someone who can work, who I've seen work with bigger guys, who will listen to me and will take the time to make sure my stuff look right, right?
Yeah.
Take me to the store, or if you don't take me to the store, bring the clothes here. Let's try things on. Okay, that doesn't fit right. What should we do? You want someone, and Jeremy's a hard worker where he will get it pinned, he will flip it, he will send it to a tailor, and he has connections with tailors that can turn stuff around in 24 hours. So you just want a good team. So hair, makeup, wardrobe, and you want a good photographer. And I talked about some of the things that make a good photographer. Someone you can connect with, someone you understand their personality a little bit, and that you think you would gel with, and someone who has experience in the type of brand you're going, the lane that you're going. You want someone with those type of three characteristics. So hair, makeup, wardrobe, and then a good photographer.
Yeah, 100%. And like for all of you out there who are like, because I'm trying to think of the thoughts that I had that was like preventing me from doing this sooner. And some of them were like, I've done my hair for all my other shoots, or I would go to the hairstylist and get my hair done before the photo shoot and just, curl it myself. And I was like, that's worked out. That's been fine. Y'all, that morning, my hair curling in myself, them flexi rods didn't work. I don't know what was going on. It did not look good. And so having someone on site made it so much easier and so much better. And to Jason's point, you may not be a model. Like, I'm not a model per se. Like, I'm not modeling. I'm not a model at all, right? Like, not per se. I'm not a model. That is not how I identify myself. However, I felt comfortable telling Jeremy and Jason, like, I do not want this gut to be rolling over in these photos. Okay. Like, I don't want no back roll. Like, let's be real, ladies, curvy ladies, y'all understand this. And so whatever size you are, be honest about where you think there may be imperfections that you want them to hide. You want people you can say that to and be okay and not feel like, oh my goodness, they're going to judge me or blah, 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 blah. Because I kept saying, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to just do this fierce workout. And like, look, I'm going to do what I can do, but I'm gonna need to show up and y'all gonna have to make it work. So that's kind of like what I would say in terms of making sure you hire the right people. So where can people find you, Jason? Because you work with people from out of state. Are people fly in? How do you work with people, and how can they work with you if they know they want to do that, which I highly recommend.
Okay. So if you want to find me online, first I got the website, which is jasonmccoyphotography.com. So it's just my name with photography.com. But if you want to see more of my day-to-day, you want to get a good idea of who I am, want to know more about me, my Instagram is the best place for that. And that's Jason McCoy Photography. So Instagram.com/Jason McCoy Photography. And that'll give you a good idea of who I am. And you'll see those behind the scenes of how I work with clients and things we do. So Jason McCoy Photography website, and then Instagram, Jason McCoy Photography.
Amazing. And after you all get those amazing brand photo shoots on your website, you're going to need to know how to sell your speaking services. Okay. And for that, I want to coach you for 3 days in November 4th through the 6th at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. And so before we get out of here, guys, I'm going to show you this commercial for the event. I want you to go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event and join me. And this is the life of a paid professional speaker. Money, cars, jet setting from stage to stage. And all this can be yours if you join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2021, where I'll show you.
Ashley, hold on. First of all, whose jet is this? And second of all, I thought you were going to teach them the real life of a paid professional speaker, like what we do at Speak Your Way to Cash, where we teach people how to get 5- and 6-figure contracts. And whose Porsche is this?
Babe, why can't I stunt for the gram? Fine. Cut. I'll show you the real life of a paid professional speaker. Unfortunately, it's not as glamorous as all of this. Come on. This is the real life of a paid professional speaker. I spend the vast majority of my time right here behind a computer, pitching corporate clients and directing my team on how to do the same. It's not all luxury, but the beautiful thing is, if you can really learn how to implement the paid method that I teach to get press, assemble an amazing offer, consistently invite paying clients to work with you, and deliver an amazing speech backed by really good customer service, you can have the life that you want. Unfortunately, you won't just be jet setting around all the time. You will have to put in some work. So at the event in November, I'm going to be teaching you what work you should be putting in and how exactly to get the results that you want. So if you're watching this and you're a speaker, consultant, entrepreneur, thought leader, or anyone else that really wants to make speaking a real revenue stream, then you need to be there and join me so that I can help you start to speak your way to cash. How'd I do, babe?
Now that's more like it.
Get your tickets at speakyourwaytocash.com. I'll see you there. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you can make it out. That was my Thank you. Yeah, so guys, I hope you guys can make it out. Hopefully you got a lot of good information during this episode. I recommend Jason, and Jeremy's information is Jeremy Frierson. So feel free to DM me and I can point you in the right direction for his Instagram as well. And we're going to try to get him on here too. He's super humble, but really good at what he does. And Jason's information will also be on the show notes. And he also gave you his Instagram. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But I want you all to win on every level. And that requires not looking a certain way, like, are you short? Are you tall? Are you big? It requires you presenting yourself professionally in that your personality shines through really good photos. Okay. So however you decide to make your brand look, you're going to want it captured well. And that's what Jason can help you to do. And that's why I wanted to have him on here, because it's an important part of being a speaker. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna prove it to you guys. I don't know if you've seen these flyers, Jason, but I have some speakers where they'll go to an event and they'll speak, and I can tell they're not getting paid from like the way the flyer looks. I'm like, this is not a paid engagement. You know what I mean? It's like, you could just tell, you know, like you could just tell. And so there's something about, you know, wanting to make $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 from a single speech. You're going to want to give your client a professionally done flyer. You're going to want to give them really nice photos so that it continues to increase buyer confidence over time. When they hear you do a good pitch, but then they Google you, they see the same thing. They're like, yeah, she pricey. That's exactly how you want it to be. I had a client call me. They were like, I knew it was going to be a lot of money. I was like, that's exactly how I want you. Like, if you would have called and been like, I thought it would be $500. Like, that'd be a problem. That would mean my visual identity is not in alignment with what I do. So I want you guys to keep that in mind and get someone good to capture who you are, your essence as a brand. It's so important. So Jason, any final thoughts to someone who's kind of scared to do a brand photo shoot? They don't think they have the look or the budget to do it. What would you say to that person?
You know what? I think you should just take the first step and reach out to a photographer. Hopefully it's me. If it's not me, just find a photographer, reach out to them. But study a little bit about them, but reach out to them, because we're here to partner. I'm here to partner with you, and we're going to create images together. And whoever you're working with, I don't know if it's hair, makeup, wardrobe, a photographer, you're there to partner. So let them know. It's really like starting a relationship. It's like, these are my downfalls. These are things I feel subconscious about, and I'm bringing you on to my team to help me out. And when you bring us on as a team, when you bring a creative on as a team member, we will go above and beyond to make sure that you're satisfied, because we want to make sure that you're happy. So if you're scared, just reach out to a professional and be vulnerable to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm self-conscious about whatever the situation is, but I'm coming for help. So be vulnerable and just have a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, this is the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. Hopefully you reach out to Jason or Jeremy, who I mentioned, and any one of they have a lot of recommendations for hair and makeup and those things. I loved everyone that they've referred to me. And then hopefully you'll also let me coach you for 3 days in November. Get your early bird rate. If you get your ticket before July 31st, 2021, you are able to attend the prospecting party, which means you will actually go to an event before the event where I show you how I find people to sell to, and I'll show you what I send them to actually get them on the phone and inevitably become a client. And I'll do the whole thing live right there during the pre-event prospecting party. So that session alone is worth the cost of the entire admission to the event. So hopefully I'll see you there and you'll start speaking your way to cash, guys. Until then, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.